Hey folks, how's everybody doing? Good morning. My name is Francis Collado. I'm your Executive Director from Visual Communications, and welcome to Kids Shorts today in the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival. I'm coming to you from Long Beach, and we acknowledge the Tongva people, the keepers of this land before we all came to live here. Folks, today, thank you for creating community with us at the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival, and thank you to our supporters, especially our partners for your valuable work. Thank you to the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences, Sony Pictures Entertainment, Comcast NBC Universal, California Arts Council, SAG-AFTRA Producers IACF, the National Endowment for the Arts, HBO, and Warner Media. And special thanks to our community partner organizations for their valuable work for continuing to support VC. Folks, I'd like to bring up Issa Le, the Executive Director of VALA, Vietnamese Arts and Letters Association, and for Issa to talk about what they're making happen.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Francis, and thank you, Visual Communications, for this speaking opportunity. My name is Issa Le, and I'm the Executive Director for VALA, which is the Vietnamese American Arts and Letters Association, which is a nonprofit art organization that's based in Orange County, Southern California. Our mission is to connect and reach the communities through Vietnamese arts and culture. We have produced a lot of art events for the community, like the annual Viet Film Fest, art exhibitions, plays, concerts, workshops, art workshops. And this month in October, we launched our first ever online Viet Book Fest, which is an online book festival. And we dedicate this first Viet Book Fest to children. So we feature 4 readings of children's books and with beautiful illustrations. And every Saturday this month from 3 to 4 p.m. we have a reading section by the authors themselves and also a Q&A, a hosted Q&A event. So today, if you have time, please check in VALA website, which is vaala.org, or our Facebook page. VALA is on Facebook. And the book that we feature today is called Green Lantern Legacy, which is written by Minh Le. It's about a Vietnamese American superhero who fights racism. So once again, check in our website, www.vaala.org. And that's it for me. Thank you again, Visual Communications, and best wishes to the Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival. Thank you, Francis.
Thank you, Issa. Folks, next I'd like to introduce you to the Kizon family. I'd like to bring up Joel, Glenda, and Kamayo. If they're there. This is the family that curated the program for this morning, but for this month as well. Really coming from family to our families. This is an evolution of a program that we started called Itsy Bitsy Shorts. Really, how do we create a space for our kids to enjoy the festival, and really also a way for our kids to spend time with VC staff and our festival staff during our 10-day kind of marathon of the festival, and really missing this as just to see kids and other folks. And even before, we've had artists who's going to be part of today's program, like Christina Wong, perform for our children as well. So Joel, Kamayo, Glenda, thank you for creating this program and bringing all these artists together. I'm going to pass it on to you, Joel.
Hey, thanks, Francis. So I'd like to introduce my family and co-curators of Kids Shorts, my partner, Glenda, and my son, Kamayo. Let me get through, again, welcome to the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival. Joel Kizon. I'm zooming in from Los Angeles. I'm the senior programmer, and we reprogrammed again Kids Shorts. And again, real quick, I would like to, if you would like to read the closed captions, we're dropping a link. I think it's there. So click on that, and it will bring you to a new window that will open with the audio transcripts. And again, we'd like to thank everyone for making this festival possible, especially our sponsors and community orgs. And again, helping choose these films is a fun and rewarding family effort, and we are really happy and proud to present these fantastic short films. You guys want to say something?
It was so fun curating and looking at all of these these really unique and very inventive, and it was just, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for making us a part of this.
I don't know. Anyways, okay, so thank you. And then they're gonna leave because they don't want to ask questions. But I wanted to go ahead and bring out our filmmakers. So let's start our artist conversation. So if everyone wants to turn on their video, and then we'll go around the room. Let's see, is everyone on? Up here, we're gonna go around the Zoom room, and if you can say your name, the film that you worked on, and your role in the film, that would be great. So let's start with, on my top, let's start with Sean David.
Unmute, that helps. Hi, my name is Sean David, and I was the producer of Maggie Dave, I'm Not Ready, which was designed and animated by Cassie Shao, who's with us today. And I'm also the lead singer of the band.
And Esther?
Hi, I'm Esther. I directed and made the short film In Passing, and I'm coming in from Vancouver, Canada.
Thank you, Esther. Erica?
Hi, I'm Erica. I directed and animated the film Kinoko, and I'm zooming in from Los Angeles.
Cassie?
Hi, I'm Cassie. I direct animated Maggie Dave music video, I'm Not Ready, from Los Angeles.
Thank you. Trilina?
Hi, I'm Shalina. I directed and animated the film Push, and I'm zooming in from Cypress, California.
Thank you. Joseph?
하이사이 원네 카미야 조세피 아이빙 California kara Chabitang, and I produced and edited Ninu Fabushi, which was animated by my partner Flor Kaneshiro.
And Flor?
Hi everybody. I'm Flor. I'm from Argentina. I direct and illustrate the video Ninu Fabushi Miati. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Flor. Teddy, you don't have your video on.
It says that the host has stopped our video.
Oh, sorry. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Teddy Chow. My daughter Liberty is here. And with Christina Wong, we produced a web series called Radical Cram School, and really excited to be here with everyone.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming. We really appreciate you. The family, we really loved all your films. We were really touched, and it was very, so much creativity and inventiveness. And see my wife again, we have a question. So I'm gonna go around the room and just ask, like, what inspired you to make the film? Maybe we can start with Esther.
Hi. Yeah, so I guess my parents were definitely what inspired the film. Probably first and foremost, going back when I was a kid to Hong Kong for the first time, I realized how different it was from the way I grew up. So when I had a chance to make the film, I guess I tried to ask my parents as much as I could, and it was really inspired by Hong Kong as a city and as like my cultural home, I guess. So that was what inspired the film.
Specifically about your film, you had a very distinct visual style. Was there anything that you were influenced by in terms of how it looks, or what was your inspiration for that?
I think Hong Kong, the city itself, is a really huge inspiration. Just with all the patterns and the details, you just have to have it because that's Hong Kong. But I guess visual style with the way the camera is and stuff. I tried to take a lot from Asian cinema, like Taiwanese cinema and like traditional Japanese stuff, just because the shots and the way the story is told is so different from Hollywood stuff, which we're all really familiar with. So I wanted to tell it, if it's like a cultural story from my family's heritage, I guess, I want to tell it the way that Asian cinema kind of has done it in the past. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go to Erica, like your film, and we'll kind of assume people watched it already, but it's such a shocking ending. We like when we first saw it, we were like, oh, I can't believe that happened. No spoiler alert. But anyway, what was your inspiration for this really fun film?
I knew I wanted to make something fun, but I also wanted to incorporate well, every summer, my dad's Japanese, so every summer we would go over to Japan and just spend our summers there. And I knew I wanted to incorporate something like that. And then I remembered seeing these short animated ads for this like brand of mushrooms on TV. And then that's actually that like ad inspired me to make my film.
Thank you. So let's go to Cassie. Cassie, how did you work with Sean David and his band? How did you and Sean get together and come up with your film?
I think I spoke with Sean about his idea for the song, and that was sort of the first step. And it was basically about a song about not being ready, like the title. But and then I thought about this dream that I had, where I was sort of waiting on this train that kept on being delayed, and then until I was told that you had to run to the other side and the train would come, and then I thought it was sort of an interesting idea to have to sort of have the train wait on you, that after you make the choice, the world sort of starts moving afterwards, and that is sort of this ideal place where you're sort of moving at your own pace and you're ready for what's gonna come, and that's the idea.
Maybe we can go to Sean and kind of like, how did you link up with Cassie and how did you two meet and connect?
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. I go to USC, and when I was getting ready to graduate, I noticed that the animation program, the Hench Data, was having their thesis screenings on campus. And my mom was visiting at the time. And I actually wrote the song when I was living with my mom during a kind of a rough patch in my life. So it was interesting that she was there when I met Cassie for the first time. And she showed her thesis film. There were 4 of us, which was just a remarkable fragmented narrative that blended these personal details and this dream state that was just so rich and compelling. And I just had to talk with her after the screening. So I just walked up after her and I said, I loved your film. Let's keep in touch. And when the song came along, it was an opportunity for me to just kind of gift it to this artist with this wonderful vision, and just like, do whatever you want. You know, you have the vision, I trust you. Here's the song, make it your own. And she did that, and I'm very fortunate and grateful to have met her.
Thank you, Sean. Let's go to Christina and let's talk about Push. And like, it seems like such a personal story. Did it come from something personal?
Yeah, so when I made Push, I realized that a lot of individuals who were close to me were like losing family members, teachers, or friends, and it got me thinking of how different relationships kind of meld through life. And for me, I related a lot to just how I grew up with my grandparents taking care of me growing up. So Push is really just a story of a grandfather and his grandson, and then going through life and just exploring the little nuances of happenings.
How have your family, like, if they've seen it, obviously, what are their responses to it?
Yeah, my family's seen it a lot of times now, actually. So I think they're proud of me, but you know, they do the Asian thing where they don't say much. They're just like, yeah, she did it.
Thank you. Let's go to Joseph and Flora and let's talk a little bit about their film. It's such a unique film. It's made up of drawings and it has like really deep history, family history. So can you talk to us about how you were inspired to make this film? Maybe Joseph?
Yes.
Flora? Go ahead, Flora.
Yeah, the story was inspired by the story of my grandfather when he emigrated from Okinawa to Argentina. And the idea was like a an illustrated video. So when all the drawings are like smooth, like slowly, and is with the song of Brandon Ing, Tinsaguna Hana, that is like a traditional song of Okinawa. So if Jose wants to say something more, sorry for my English. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
want to add something to it?
Well, I wanted to add, like, just it was such a pleasure to work with Flora and her beautiful illustrations, and also Brandon, who did a wonderful rendition of this traditional Okinawan folk song, and kind of, really the project to encompass this idea of like immigration and this worldwide like network of Okinawans around the world, because Brandon's from Hawaii and I'm from California, and of course Flora's from Argentina. So kind of like collaborating on this kind of international scale was really a great experience. And of course working with these talented folks. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit of like kind of what do you want people to take away after watching this film? Seems very relevant right now as well. For Joseph.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. My idea was to tell the story that is like similar to a lot of Nikkei people from Okinawa. So this kind of feeling about to be in another land, to like miss your land, and to be struggle with all the things that happen in that to moving to other part of the world. So yeah, it's like yeah. I don't know exactly the words that I want to say, but yeah, it's like a nostalgic feeling, like yeah, and a familiar, like family thing too. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's go to Teddy.
If Joy want to add something.
Joseph, do you want to add? Or you good? Okay, thank you. So Teddy, how did you get involved with the incomparable Christina Wong and make this film, Radical Cram School? It's a series, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about it as well.
Sure, thanks. So Radical Cram School, produced by Jeanette Joffe, my wife Anna Michelle Wong, Christina Wong, and me, really started with my daughter here, Liberty, and this was in 2016, right? Basically, right around the election time, right? The anti-Asian and basically general racist rhetoric was getting pretty big, right? Liberty remembers hearing a lot of it, and one day you came home and you said, I don't want to be Chinese, or sometimes I wish I wasn't Chinese, right? Which is a sentiment that, like, when I talk to Christina, like all of us have felt and have said at one time or another. And we said, as opposed to my own parents who didn't really understand the complexity of what that means and sort of the the pressures to assimilate and fit in, I said, let's talk about this, and let's maybe gather some of your other Asian American friends and we can have a town hall meeting or chat about it. And I think I texted Christina Wong, said, hey, can we have a conversation about this? Christina is an old friend, and we've known her and supported her art for years. And Christina said, that's a great idea. Let's not do an hour-long town hall and put it on YouTube because that will be boring as hell, right? And let's actually make something fun for kids. So we came together, we got puppets, we got music, and we tried to make something that was kid-friendly and fun, but really tackled some very intense issues of sexism, misogyny, racism, white supremacy, gun control, in a way that really connected to Asian American children's identity. Trying really hard to make a series that was a growing process for us and something that we would have wanted to watch as a kid. Want to add anything, Liberty?
Not really, no.
So in terms of like how, Teddy, like how you all approached the show, was there any inspiration in terms of how you were going to do it? What was your inspiration?
I think a lot of it was just really good kids programming that we had grown up with and stuff that we had known. So one of the taglines that the media sort of gave us is Sesame Street for the Resistance, right? And if you watch them, right, we have songs, we have puppets, we have a lot of fun. I'm a college professor, so for me, it was sort of easy to sort of put all the kids together and lecture at them. And that's actually not the way we should do it when we work with kids. So we're trying really hard to engage and really listen to the kids. And, you know, if you watch the first few episodes, you can see that a lot of the dialogue is, you know, coming directly from the children themselves. And they're asking some really amazing, intense questions. And so our main inspiration is just to listen to children, right? And I think that's what I see as a theme here is, you know, the kids are guiding us and helping us understand the very complicated world we live in.
Thank you. So I kind of want to bring up another question for all you filmmakers, you know, during this pandemic and lockdowns and everything. What are you all doing to keep working on your craft right now? So maybe let's start with Trilina.
Hi, so during quarantine, I've actually gotten a lot more freelance work. So I've been doing a lot of music videos for Asian American artists, and I'm currently working on right now that's going to release sometime in December.
Oh, in terms of like artists, like musical artists or?
Yeah, songwriters.
Okay, great. That sounds awesome. How about Joseph, in terms of you as a filmmaker or producer?
Well, I've mostly been doing like nonprofit work with the Okinawa Association here in Los Angeles. So, you know, related to our film, which was, you know, about Okinawa, and so because Okinawa as a culture and historically, you know, has faced like discrimination, colonization, and even currently like U.S. military imperialism. So, kind of continuing perpetuating Okinawan history, culture, and such has been my focus. And then, of course, working on what I can with Floor also. Yeah.
Thank you. Floor, how about you?
Yeah, I'm a freelance illustrator, so I work on books projects and some other things. So yeah, I keep doing that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Deadlines.
Thank you. How about Erica? Are you working on anything right now, or have you been keeping busy during quarantine?
Well, I've worked on a couple other like short animated films and other just random projects, but what I've mainly been trying to do is improve my portfolio.
Esther, how about you?
Yeah, I work at a really awesome company here where we make stuff, so that's what I do full time. But I guess on my own, I keep on drawing as well.
How about you, Cassie? What have you been doing during this time, and in terms of working on your craft?
I have been freelancing, working on some music videos, and I've been working on my next film.
Great, which we'd love to hear about. How about you, Sean? Tell us in terms of like your music and how are you doing? How are you creating music at this time?
Yeah, thanks. Well, first off, like for those of us who are like artists, you know, we feel we have like a necessity to keep ourselves busy. I myself am a restlessly busy person, but if you don't feel a calling to be creative in these like very stressful times, it's okay to do nothing, to take a nap or read a book, or just be silent within yourself. So I wish I could do that more, but I've been working with my band, Maggie Dave. I'm used to creating music in a room with lots of musicians, but we've been trying to navigate this new way of making songs on Zoom, you know, with webcams, and which adds a layer of, you know, it's a creative hurdle that we're trying to manage, but I'm thankful that music has always been a place I can return to for solace and comfort in these times, especially.
Thank you. Let's go to Teddy. You said you're also a professor, but in terms of Radical Cram School or other films, are you working on anything now?
Yeah, Liberty, you want to talk about the GOTP?
Yeah, we did, me and my mom, we did some videos to help voting, and they're really fun. In one of them, my mom is a cat, and in the other one, me and my mom play different versions of her in different times.
So they're in the chat. These are Get Out the Vote, particularly targeting the Asian American vote. So
great, yeah,
very relevant now.
Thank you. So I'm gonna kind of go around like to the filmmakers and ask like, what are your influences? What are you influenced by? Either films or filmmakers or artists or musicians? Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of gets your creative juices flowing? Maybe we can start with Esther.
Yeah, I think, oh man, I guess just real life. Everything I draw is basically from something that I've experienced or things that I like to do. I guess a big one recently has been nature's a big one. So getting out and exploring Vancouver and BC and just seeing nature is the best thing. But just like walking around the city, watching really great movies and seeing how they break down story is really cool. Yeah, just looking at a lot of illustrators or ceramics or photography. Man, it's everything. Yeah.
Hey, Erica, do you want to add something to that?
I totally agree with Esther. It's just like you can take inspiration from anything, everything in life. And like I agree that also right now, since we are in quarantine or like with COVID and that whole situation, that nature is a really big one. It definitely like, I don't know, just like kind of centers you, and then you can just see like all these different things in life. I don't know, I agree. Nature is a very big one.
Well, let's go to Teddy and Liberty. I mean, social justice is obviously important to you. What other things that like you mentioned in terms of like TV shows we grew up as kids, what are things that inspire you to make things?
Not really.
I think, you know, we're definitely inspired by Christina Wong and her very amazing visual style. My wife, Anna Michelle Wong, and her puppeting have always been deep inspirations, and she draws a lot of inspiration from, you know, the puppets that she grew up with, particularly the Jim Henson work. And I think for us, it's really, like, I hate to say this, a lot of the work in Radical Cram School was sort of therapy for me, right? And like sort of what discussions I wish I would have had as an Asian American child growing up in the United States in the 80s and 90s. And so maybe that's not inspiration as much as it is just, you know, self-reflection.
It is though, yeah, thank you. How about you, Cassie? Well, where do you derive a lot of inspiration from? What are your favorite filmmakers or artists?
I'm inspired by my dreams mostly. But for this music video, because I was painting and so I was looking at a lot of Georgia O'Keeffe and Kim Price actually during that time. Yes.
How about you, Trilana? You want to add a little bit to that?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with Esther and Erica saying that the world is something that we can be inspired by. For me personally, I'm constantly inspired by emotions, and specifically just like moments of like slice of life where you just have very nuanced actions that are so simple yet can be so profound into like emotion or feeling or just reacting to something.
How about Flora? You want to add something to that? What are some of your favorite artists or filmmakers?
Studio Ghibli, yeah, it's one of my favorites filmmakers. And then, yeah, I'm inspired by nature and, I don't know, nostalgic stories too. So, yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Joseph?
More than anything, inspired by Okinawa and our ancestors. Kind of growing up, I'm fourth generation or Yonsei, so I'm very far removed from our ancestral heritage, but kind of reconnecting with that through like the Okinawa Association, and then and then Flora and I actually met there while we were living there for 1 year. So everything kind of revolves around Okinawa and kind of trying to reconnect with our ancestral heritage and our roots. Yeah.
Thank you. So we can go to Sean. What about you in terms of your inspirations? And then kind of how important it is, maybe also to add how important like having a visual style to your music to accompany it. How important is that in the aesthetics of how that is?
Oh, of course. Well, one of the inspirations for wanting to work with animators with Maggie Dave is you're inviting an artist in to explore the song on their own terms. And I don't have to be in front of a camera, which is nice. Like an animation, it's a timeless sort of style, you know, that can just, can be interpreted by kids and adults in different ways. You know, seeing an imagined landscape, I think, is more stimulating for an audience's imagination than seeing, like, you know, this is a cool set we found, or these are some cool costumes. I don't know. It's so what Cassie was talking about finding inspiration from dreams. I think that I'm drawn to animation in the same way, and with the band, that sort of harmony is interesting because a dream can be interpreted in different ways, just like a song can be the same. So I'm very lucky I get to work with you know, Cassie in this way.
Thank you. So I want to ask, you don't have to go into too much detail, but if you were given all the resources to make to do a project, to make a film, what kind of, you don't have to say what it is specifically, but what kind of films would you make? Let's maybe start with Trilina, sorry.
Oh gosh, that's a very big question, actually. With all the money in the world, honestly, a feature film would be awesome to do if you have all that funding. Might as well.
Do you have any kind of, like, would you do more animated films? Or you?
Yeah, absolutely animated. I think animation is, especially with the coming back of animation into mainstream media, it's just, why not? It's kind of an endless boundary. You can kind of defeat reality, so the opportunities are quite limitless.
How about you, Joseph? What's a dream project?
Well, honestly, anything dealing with Okinawa, just because Okinawa is very underrepresented, I think. Our people, our culture, our history, especially because of colonization and the discrimination that was experienced not only in Okinawa, but also like by immigrants who went to other countries, by, you know, other people from Japan even. So kind of to really create more Okinawan stories. But in all honesty, I would give all the money to Floor and also Brandon, who the musician in our video, because they're uber talented. So I would just give it all to them. But yeah, anything to do with Okinawa, because I feel that history, especially the World War II devastation, needs to be expressed, and through art, I think would be a great way to do that.
Thank you. Floor, you want to take that question?
Okay. Yeah, like a meaningful story, and I don't know, animation with watercolors, and yeah. Yeah, like that kind of things could be nice.
Karika, how about you?
I'd probably want to create more animated shorts, or maybe try to tackle something like a little bit bigger, like a mini series or something. But yeah, staying in the animation realm would be great.
What kind of stories would you like to tell?
I'd also want to stay something more fun and lighthearted. So I'm actually working on a story right now that would be really fun to turn into like a small short about like a pig hunting for truffles, but something like along that realm. But I would also like to try delving into the side of like something more personal and like identity. But
how about you, Esther?
Yeah, that's a big question. I think I would definitely, I guess with making my film, working in nonfiction was really cool, or just dipping my toes in it with that film. I definitely want to do more of that, working in the nonfiction realm. Length doesn't really matter, but I think just telling real stories and getting out different sort of cultural nuances that aren't really shown in like normal media would be really, really cool.
Thank you. How about you, Cassie? What's you have a dream project or something you'd really want to do if someone gave you all the money in the world to make? Or what kind of stories or films would you like to make?
I want to animate for plays. Possibly Harold Pinter's play.
Oh, that would be amazing. How about you, Sean? For your project, you have a dream project?
Dream project. I think dream projects are scary because you place too much faith in them. If someone gave me all the money in the world, honestly, I'd think about some way I could give it back to different filmmakers in form of grants or like little, just kind of spread it around. But I get nervous when I think about dream projects or when someone says, oh, it's the film I've always wanted to make. For me, it's like listening to the right time to tell the story, and let that guide you. I don't know. Dreams can be dangerous.
Thank you. Now, Teddy, in terms of like, if you were given the resources, it seems like making an impact is important to you and your family. Like, what are the kind of projects you would do if you were given the resources to make?
Thanks, Joel. We've talked a lot about, if we could get enough money to make a season 3. We would love to make a 3rd season of Radical Cram School, or even just turn it into a regular thing, right? Like a regular TV show or web series. I don't know if Christina wants to chime in on this, but we had a lot of fun doing it and really like showcasing some amazing Asian American, just role models for the kids, featuring artists and just giving them a platform to talk directly to children was so fun. And we would love to continue doing that and just making, any sorts of media that I think are for children, that feature children's voices, that really get into a space that allow the Asian American and Pacific Islander children, APITA children, to see that they can do anything, right? I think is important. So that's my answer.
Good answer. I mean, quickly, so right now you have season 1 and 2, people can watch it on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on this site. I think there's 2 episodes featured in the kids' shorts, yeah.
How many episodes are there right now? Do you have total?
So each episode is, each season is 6 episodes. The episodes run about 3 to 5 minutes each. So you can actually watch each season and, it clips in a little bit over 30 minutes. So it's short and sweet and, perfect for the COVID-19 attention span that we've all developed.
Good. I have a question in the chat. We wanted to know what your favorite film was when you were kids. So think about that for a sec. And then I'll go to, let's start with Teddy and Liberty again. What are your favorite films right now, Liberty?
We just recently finished watching all the Marvel movies. And I would say that right now my favorite movie or film, I guess, is Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first one?
Yes.
Let's go to Cassie. What was your favorite film growing up as a kid?
In terms of animation, I liked Killer, that Japanese, that Japanese animated film. Oh, the Sky Crawlers. I like that a lot when I was growing up.
Thank you. How about you, Sean?
Oh gosh, as a kid, I don't know if the other kids have seen this. Have you seen The Never-Ending Story? Have your parents shown you that film? It's like wonderful. It's a Wolfgang Petersen film, and it had all these practical sets and giant costumes, and kind of like this wonderful texture you get with those older films, where like it was actually made like tactile. So I loved that movie when I was a kid. Yeah.
You like the soundtrack too?
Oh yeah, it can't be beat. Are you kidding me? It's classic.
How about you, Chelena? What was your favorite film as a kid?
Yeah, my favorite film growing up, well, 2 of them is Spirit, Stanley Cimarron, and Prince of Egypt. I just think they're so beautiful and very well done.
Esther, how about you?
I would totally second Prince of Egypt. I grew up on that. And Joseph, King of Dreams. But also just, I don't know, I watched a ton, like Beauty and the Beast too, and like all that stuff.
Erica.
As a kid, I watched a lot of the Studio Ghibli movies, but I remember I was also like really obsessed with The Incredibles.
How about you, Floor?
Maybe Alice in Wonderland by Disney. Yeah, I watched that when I was a kid. It was very nice.
Joseph?
Definitely My Neighbor Totoro by Studio Ghibli, and also, strangely, a lot of martial arts films as a kid. Yeah, no comment.
So I want to go around. Do we have any more questions in the chat? Okay, one sec. Well, before we go into that, let's kind of go around quickly and maybe talk about upcoming projects that maybe we should all be looking out for. I know we talked about what you're working on, but is there anything you want to plug or want people to put their focus on? Any upcoming things? Maybe let's start with Cassie.
I have several music videos being released. Currently working on a Maggie Dave music video, actually. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a secret, but I just said it. And working on my next film, but that's probably gonna be like another year or so.
Great. How about you, Sean? I know you were saying you were working and making some music or trying to online.
Yeah. No, the secret is definitely out. Yeah, Cassie and I have been working on the Old You music video for this year, and that's our upcoming song after our debut single, which is going to come out probably late November. So, yeah, so watch for that. But yeah, in terms for me, just writing, trying to read more,
How about you, Esther? Do we have anything coming that we should look out for?
Not anything that I can say that are coming up, but one that we just finished at the company I'm at, we did a little short that's 1 minute called Right Now on our spare time we did over the past 6 months during quarantine. So, and it just came out recently. So if you all haven't seen it, you can take a look.
Where do we find it?
It's on the Giant website, or you can probably check it out. There's the recent stuff I've been posting on Instagram is also all from that. So yeah, I was able to board and animate on that. So that was pretty sweet.
Well, you, Erica?
I don't really have any upcoming things to look out for, but I guess if you want to check out more of my work, you can always look at my portfolio for like new updates.
What's your website?
It's just my name, so ericagomi.com.
Thank you. How about you, Floor? Do you have anything upcoming, and how can people keep in contact with you online?
Okay, well, this year I released my first picture book. The title is The Call. It's El Llamado in Spanish. So yeah, I'm working with that and now I'm just learning new things. And my page, my web is florkaneshiro.com. So if you want to see other things, yes, thank you.
Thank you, Floor. How about you, Joseph? What are you working on that we should be on the lookout for? And maybe kind of tell us some information about the Okinawa work you have been doing and some of the organizations you're working with.
Oh, thank you. I work with the Okinawa Association of America, OAA. So if you search Okinawa Association of America on Facebook or Instagram, we're on there. And we're just trying to do a lot of more virtual stuff, talks and social gatherings on Zoom and whatnot, and also some things for our seniors, because seniors are the majority of our membership. But and nothing else to plug for me, but I want to plug our musician Brandon Ng. Bandcamp.com. He has an album which the song is from the Tinsagu no Hana, which is a traditional song, but he writes all of his music in Uchinaguchi, which is the native language of Okinawa Island. And it's one of the endangered language, it's an endangered language. So he writes modern music with Uchinaguchi to really make sure that this language, which really has undergone a lot, again, discrimination, colonization, a history of that. So please check out Brandon Ng and also, you know, of course, Floor's work. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Shalina, how about you?
Yeah, I said it a little earlier, but I'm currently directing an animated music video. We're gonna release the cover and title around early November and then release it this December. And I'm really excited about this project because I had the opportunity to hire out Cal State Long Beach alumni. So a lot of my friends got to work on it too. And it's really nice to finally be from peers, like peers to like collaborators on a project.
Thank you. Teddy and Liberty, I know you have the Get Out the Vote video out that's being shared. I think Christina tweeted it today. This is not the same one, but maybe what else and where can we find that again?
Yeah, so the Get Out the Vote work, I think it's in the chat here, and that's some really good stuff to, you know, help promote that. Especially some of the nice part about the videos is they connect multiple generations of Asian Americans who need to register to vote or vote. Also, the Yes on Prop 15, particularly for California, is a really nice video there, right, featuring Liberty and Anna Michelle, my wife, and then Christina Wong is also in the midst of a tour for her work on being a public servant. I think it's called Christina Wong for Public Office, and it's awesome. And I think, Christina, if you want to post that also in the chat.
Hi, since you're here. Maybe she doesn't. She's being. There she is. Hi, Christina. You're on mute.
Oh, you're muted.
You're mute. You're on mute.
Hello, children. Hello. It's me. It's me. You when you're older and jaded. Hi, everyone. I'm just spamming the chat. Don't mind me. But I'm yes, I'm touring the show and trying to get people to vote. We're really Liberty was really great in a video that I've put up here where she basically Zoom bombs her mother. But it's anyway, this is supposed to be the same person in the video. Very fun. Go vote, please. I don't want to be in this any longer. That's all. Bye-bye.
So I want to thank everyone for joining. That's pretty much our time. And I really appreciate all the work that you've done. Your films are wonderful and inspiring and touching, and really made this year's program, putting it together, extra special. And just watching it, if everyone hasn't seen it yet, please go to the festival website. It'll be available through the end of the month. So again, if you haven't watched it, watch it, tell a friend. If you enjoyed this conversation and the festival lineup, please consider donating to Visual Communications. Your support will help sustain our year-round operations and programming. Go to vcmedia.org for more information. Stick around for the next conversation, and hopefully see you next week for the special Future is Bright panel with selected kid talent from the festival. We have one kid talent here, Liberty, but we'll have a filmmaker who did, get her name correctly, Kenna Hutchins, who did Mr. Orange and Baby Snot. If you all haven't seen that, she's a 12-year-old filmmaker, and she'll be there too. And so that'll be next week. And then for more recent updates on the festival, please visit festival.bcmedia.org or follow us on our social media accounts at BC Film Festival. Don't forget to use the hashtag LAAPFF 2020. And again, that's it. Thank you all for your time and thank you for joining us. Thank you.